my super beautiful, lovely, gorgeous souls. Welcome to my channel over here at Rainbow Moon Readings. Today we're doing something a little different, and I think I'm going to continue this as a series. Each sign I'm going to do today is going to be for Aquarius. And this is going to be for twin flame separation, soul connections, however you would like to say it, in separation or separated or challenged or, not together. Aquarius twin flame, and we're going to go by card if your twin flame Aquarius is a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. So this is going to be Aquarius is your twin flame of water sign and separation for twin flame. Okay? And we're going to get right into this. I will put timestamps. We're going to start with Cancer. Okay? And we're going to use just a few different cards and get a few different messages. So Aquarius and Cancer, twin flame. Let's get right into this. And we'll talk a little bit about, the separation, sort of what's going on with the separation, energies that might be surrounding the separation, some healing that needs to be done, some advice from the angels. We'll get all of that and more. And if you'd like to hear all the messages, make sure you stick around. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll know when I upload more videos like this to help you in your separation and spiritual journey. So let's talk about maybe what caused this separation between Aquarius and Cancer. So I feel like it was really, really great when it started out. I feel like it was phenomenal. The energy felt so good. I feel like you felt like, oh my God, there's numerous possibilities. Like everything feels happy and positive and very good and happy. It's like, it felt great. I feel like, what have I been missing my whole life? I found in this person. It just feels so great. I feel like, there might have been like a lot of sunshine and happiness in the beginning, but there was like maybe one rainy day that happened. And I feel like everything sort of started to fall apart very quickly. I feel like there was a moment of like a shocking realization. Something shocking happened or sudden happened that threw this into upheaval. To me, this does say separation. It does, to me, feel like it was a foundational issue. Like you thought you had this great foundation and you were building it into something you thought was great and could never fail. And then I feel like the universe checked it. And there were some things that maybe were a bit false, or there may have been a little bit too much concern with self or ego. I also feel like the way that, maybe this relationship came off as was like nothing could hurt it, nothing can harm it. It felt like it was so undeniable. But I feel like there was arguing, there was fighting, there was a lot of difference of opinion. I feel like it's more of an emotional upheaval. And it led to separation. I feel like the foundations were not strong here. Like it needed to sort of devastate in order to be rebuilt. And I feel like in separation, that's part of the lesson here, is to sort of like rebuild your own strong foundations so that when you come back together, you can build the foundations together stronger, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I get a sense here there was like wanting to flee this, wanting to run, wanting to get away from it, almost like too intense, too powerful. Okay, so as a result of this, I would like to talk about, I'm going to get one card out for Divine Feminine and one for Divine Masculine. And how does the Divine Masculine feel in this connection? How is the Divine Masculine feeling in separation about this connection? How are they feeling? They're feeling vulnerable, extremely vulnerable, to the point that they want to hide. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if the Divine Masculine in this connection was the runner. They just feel like this was very stressful. Okay, to me, it feels like to them, they were like, they wanted the happiness of it, the happy-go-lucky part of it, like not to have to put in the work. Does that make sense? Like, Divine Masculine's feeling like, this is great if it's lighthearted. This is great if it's fun. This is great if it's, I don't have to work on myself, or I don't have to put the work in, or I don't have to expose my shadows or expose my darker side or the things that I need to heal. To them, that was their tower moment, because they're like, oh my God, now they're trying to force me to face these things, or I'm being forced to face these things, leaving them very vulnerable and questioning their self now. Okay. I feel like it blew them open, and they realized that there are some things that just because they thought were strong in their sense of like foundational, like life, and they found out, no, that's not true. I feel like now they're very vulnerable and they're questioning things. Yeah, they're in an energy where they need to stand alone. They need to really come into this understanding about themselves and understanding about it's okay to be vulnerable, especially with your twin, because that's what we do. We bring it out of each other. Okay, we bring out what needs to be healed. We bring out what needs to be fixed. And, when somebody runs, it's because we don't want to face it, because really we're facing ourselves. So yeah, there's an energy of standing alone for the divine masculine, where I feel like they need to be independent about this. I also feel like they don't like to have too much pressure on them about commitment or being held down or being like, I have to be present. So I feel like there's a lot to be said about them standing alone now and feeling it, because I feel like, deep down, I feel like they really don't want to be alone. They want companionship and commitment, but their vulnerability is really standing in the way of that right now. Okay. So let's get some messages from Divine Feminine. Shadows, maybe energies that needs to be sort of healed. What is the Divine Feminine feeling in separation? What is our Divine Feminine energy feeling in separation? We're getting guarded. So Divine Feminine's feeling guarded, like, hey, I feel this way for a reason. Okay. I'm not crazy. Like, I'm not irrational. I feel guarded for a reason. I've been hurt. Okay. And it kind of mirrors to the vulnerability in the divine masculine, because when we feel vulnerable, we do tend to guard our emotions harder. We close off harder. We close off more easily. Like, we pull away. When we're being pushed or forced to look at something that we're not ready to see, we tend to pull away. We don't want to, realize these things sometimes about ourselves. We want to live in our own mind that we're okay. We're not that we're perfect, but we're okay. We don't need, to fix or do anything or do the work. To me, this whole thing feels like it's more about doing work here, like emotional work, purging, like, getting to the bottom, to the root of the problems. I feel like these two were not ready to do that. Okay. And yes, because of guardedness on the divine feminine side here. Let's get one more card out for divine feminine. An obsession. Okay. So divine feminine could be a little bit obsessive with this connection. They could be a little bit obsessive about their own issues or problems now, because now it has blown them open a little bit, like making them maybe realize some things that they need to change or do differently. It could also be that they're just obsessing about this connection. They're obsessing about the connection. They're obsessing about reconnecting. Okay. And not in the best light for obsession, because obsession does let us stay stuck. Sometimes we ruminate and we need to come to realizations about things. And it is okay to go over and over things, but not to the point where it's not allowing you to sort of move on or get into a better energy. So for that, let's get some angel advice based on these energies. Some advice from, this is my Angel Wisdom Oracle. Let's see what angels have to say about this. Choosing not to choose is still a choice. Okay. So in the energy of this union, I feel like these two very much, I don't really feel like there's runner or chaser. I almost feel like they both are running and chasing at the same time, if that makes any sense. I feel like there's a lot they both feel they need to run. They're like, I don't want to face these things. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm forced or I need to sort of cop to what I did wrong or what needs to change about me. There's a little bit of standoffishness here, okay? So I'm feeling like they're both making the choice to run. They're both making the choice to not heal and not look at these issues, because it's painful. It's painful. They have to come to their own realizations about these things through reflection and through I don't know, personal growth, like living life a little bit more and, consulting with friends or, sort of just doing what they feel like they need to do to get out of that tower moment, if that makes any sense. And everything changes eventually. It's time to do things differently. So you're being called by angels to look at this because it wasn't working. This type of energy surrounding this connection with the tower there, that is not working. The stubbornness and the not wanting to see things for what they are and the not wanting to accept faults or accept darknesses. You're being called to look at these things now. And that does have a lot to do with your connection with each other and strengthening the connection with each other. So let's just get out one card for sort of the path that these two can go. And what sort of is the whole purpose of the connection here between these two energies of Aquarius and Cancer. Empathy. So part of your goal and part of your learning and part of your contract together is to learn empathy, to see both sides of a situation. Wow, that's really pretty spot on and really, really nice. Sort of, coming out of the maybe the selfishness, like where you want to be all focused on you and your issues and making your point. When we argue and fight, we want to make our point. We want to be heard, but sometimes we forget to hear the other side. So I feel like in separation and part of the journey is going to be about empathy and learning empathy and being more empathetic, when it comes to foundations, love, expectations, and listening to your partner. Okay. Wow. Excellent. All right. So let's get into Pisces now. Okay. So, guys, I may use different decks as I feel drawn. I may ask different questions as I feel drawn. Really, it's just how Spirit is, sort of directing me. Okay. So Pisces and Aquarius in separation. Let's see what's going on here with Pisces and Aquarius in separation. Pisces and Aquarius. So some reevaluating is going on. Yeah, I feel like, when you first came together, this felt like very a homey connection. I'm feeling like, it was the start of something really, really good. The foundations were there, open to you building upon them, okay? I feel like some stagnation started to occur. You might have been not seeing eye to eye. You might have been feeling like maybe I don't want this anymore. Maybe I can't handle this anymore. Maybe I can't do this anymore. Maybe I don't know if this is what I really want. Maybe I want to go after something else. Maybe I need to put self-focus and I need to worry about my career or my home life or my family life or other, people that were revolving around this connection. I feel like this was the making of something really good because I do feel like these two coming together both have a sense of like wanting stability in home. I feel like maybe they never had this, or it was very ingrained in their lives that it's important to have home life and stability and like put everything into a relationship and do it the right way. I feel like there could have been some issues though with continuation, like progression. Like we've got the foundations here, but something may have paused the continuous building of the foundations of a relationship. So I feel like, someone's sort of like in this energy where they're like thinking things through. Okay. So in separation, I feel like these two are both sort of thinking things through. Did I really want this? Can I really do this? What do I really want out of life? What do I really want from my future? Okay. So that's sort of like where the energy is sort of turning or going with this. So let's get for divine masculine. What's surrounding the divine masculine? What's the divine masculine feeling? Wanting energies that the divine masculine is carrying, shadows, things that need to be worked on or healed. Let's see. Numbing emotions. So the divine masculine here in separation is sort of numbing their emotions. I feel like, they're thinking about their twin. Divine masculine's thinking about their twin. I feel like they're in a state where they're trying to go through all the stages of life, their past, like leading them up to the now, if that makes any sense. they are not dealing with this the best way. They're dealing with it in an unhealthy way. They may have been dealing with it in union in an unhealthy way, and that could be part of their problem, where they're just prone to I don't know, escapism. Okay. If you look at the picture, it's somebody who's sort of drowning their emotions. They're, not wanting to face it. So they want to numb it. They want to erase it. They want to not think about it. It's too painful for them. It could also have to do with things that they've never dealt with from their past, and this was their go-to answer. I'll just numb it out. I'll just act like it's not bothering me. I'll put on a brave face. So a little bit of that. Let's get another card for Divine Masculine. And ashamed. They're not proud of themselves with the way they handled this situation. They're not proud of themselves with the way they treated you. They're not proud of themselves for having to numb their emotions all the time. They're really feeling this. It hit them very heavily, okay? But they have some issues. Numbing emotions, that stems way back from childhood. So something that became a pattern for them, okay? They may have had, I don't know, an abusive parent or dealt with addiction in their family. They may be themselves dealing with addiction. And it may be now more mirrored to them, and they're realizing that they can't do this. This is not always the answer. Even though it's their go-to, they're ashamed of it, and they're realizing that that's not the answer, is to go to numb, okay? So let's get some for the Divine Feminine in this connection, which can be either or, okay? However it resonates, guys. It's however it resonates. If you resonate as Divine Feminine Pisces or Aquarius, or Divine Masculine Pisces or Aquarius, however it resonates. Divine Feminine is going through a dark night of the soul. She is in her awakening process, okay? Things are different for her. She really is realizing things like she never realized before. I feel like she's like, it blew her world open. Like she's like, oh, I'm going through all these stages, very depressed, very sad. She's really holding on to this. She's really soul searching because I feel like she knows she can never go back to the way she used to be, even in union, even before this union. Perseverance. So her strength is going to really shine through here in separation. She's relying on her inner strength. She's able to persevere through obstacles, through her own personal obstacles, her own personal tragedies, her own emotions. She's facing them. She's facing them with almost like this confidence and self-assurance, because I feel like she knows that in order to realign herself or raise her vibration, that she has to sort of work through, the loneliness and the sadness and all the ways she's feeling while she's missing her twin. But she absolutely has it, to be able to do it. She has it. It's there for her. She can definitely persevere. So let's see. So we got 2 and 2. So let's go with angels now. Some advice from angels in this, union here. Praying will not bring you what you are not meant to have, okay? So Spirit wants you to know that at this time in separation was meant. It needs to be. So if you spend a lot of time, either of you, however this resonates with either energies here, if you spend a lot of time like obsessing and praying and asking and asking and asking, and it's just not meant to be in this time, Spirit wants you to know, you're sort of wasting energy. Spirit wants you to put the energy to you and pray more for answers for you. Like, what do you need to do? Guide me, show me, protect me, help me forgive, like asking more for those things, okay? Pain is a harsh teacher. Embrace all life has taught you so far. So this is a painful lesson here in separation, and there's painful truths between the two of you that you mirrored, but it's to teach you. It's to help you. It's to help you grow. It's to help you, like we got that card, persevere. It's to help you, to teach you, so you learn, what you need to heal, okay, in separation. Let's get a life path soul card here. So for the whole union, something that is part of the coming together for the two of you and the separating. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So it could be that the two of you unmistakably judged each other's emotions harshly. It could be that you just didn't understand each other's emotions. It could be that you just didn't understand where each other were coming from. It could be that you're a bit judgmental just in life when it comes to love or, I don't know, friendships, anything that you can feel or think to be judgmental over. So I feel like when you came together in this union, you sort of did this judgment on each other, sort of like a judgmental thing. Not like, a hateful judgmental thing, but like you judged each other's emotions. You judged each other's sensitivities. Does that make any sense? So the whole union is to have more understanding of each other, more understanding of each other's emotions and motivations. Okay. Awesome. Moving right on. Aquarius and Scorpio. Aquarius and Scorpio see that? Aquarius, Aquarius and Scorpio. Okay. Aquarius and Scorpio. Sorry about that, guys. Twin flame separation for the two of you. Okay, so I feel like with this, there was a little bit of an immature energy here, okay? I feel like it was a wonderful opportunity for the two of these energies to come together. It felt great. It felt passionate, very, very passionate, like neither one has ever felt before. It felt like a newness. Like you're like, oh, I never felt like this before about anybody in my life. So that twin flame phenomena came and took over and really made you like, wow, this is intense. This is an intense connection. Okay. I feel like it is a little bit more to learn about groundedness. Like don't let the passion override the need for commitment and the need for communication and the need for trust and all those like foundational things that build a relationship. Somebody wanted this more than the other. Somebody was more like, I don't know, I don't want to say a hard ass, but somebody was more like a little bit stricter, a little bit more old school, a little bit more traditional, a little bit more rules and like following like sort of like a chain of events. Like that's the way they operate in a relationship. They're like, well, we date, we court, we do this. Then we decide if we're going to move forward or we're going to be together or we're going to commit or we're going to get married. Somebody was a little bit more traditional is what I'm trying to say here. So foundation for this, I feel like somebody was more structured and somebody was a little bit more immature. So either side of that, however that resonates with you guys. Somebody was a little bit more, I don't know, not flighty, but a little bit more like, I just want to go with the passionate part of it. And somebody was more like, no, I want the structure part of it. So there was a little bit difference of, sort of energies and sort of syncing up with that. Okay. So let's get from divine masculine and divine feminine. Energy surrounding, feelings, healing that might need to be done, things that might need to be sort of exposed or things that needed to happen. Divine masculine in this connection, irresponsible, okay? They were more like, I feel like that Page of Wands energy where like, let's just take this for where it goes. Like, I'm not trying to be like tied down. I just want to be free with this. I want to still be free spirit. I still want to go and do what I want to do. I still want to go off and be with my friends and drink and have fun and party and play video games if I feel like it and not answer you. And I don't want to cop to nothing. And a little bit of that attitude there with that. Okay. But the passionate side, I don't know, I don't want to say the puppy dog love of it, but like that passionate spark was there and so intense and so good. And I feel like that's what was fueling this all along, but irresponsible, not ready to commit. That's what I feel like. And impatient. So I feel like, if they were pushed a little bit, they were going to meet it with impatience. I feel like they need to grow up a little bit, divine masculine, in this. They weren't ready for it. They're not ready to be responsible. They're not ready to, be patient in a relationship and let things develop. And I feel like they may have been driven more by the sexual attraction part of it and got impatient with that, where the divine feminine may have wanted more of a commitment thing and to feel more connected, and they got impatient with that. I feel like that could be part of it. Okay. And if that doesn't resonate, that's okay. Don't worry about it. So let's get on to divine feminine feelings, emotions, troubles, anything that may need to be said here. Blind journey for the divine feminine. So she had no idea what she was getting into, going into. You know, she took it as she was going to let her heart lead. And she really didn't have high expectations. I feel like she was more like letting her heart lead her. And she was, you know, happy to go into it without any restrictions or without any, you know, reservations about who this person was. I feel like she was willing to forgive, willing to look past things and just keep going and leave the past. Divine feminine may have issues with the past, okay? They may be blinding themselves to the fact that they need to get over shit from the past. They may have like an ex-lover they're not completely over. They may be having a difficult time now in separation dealing with the past between the connection of her and her divine masculine. There's some issues here with that, okay? That might be holding her back from getting more in depth in her spiritual journey, okay? So let's get some angels' advice. Advice from angels here. Whatever or whoever you are waiting for is not responsible for your happiness. Yeah, excellent. I mean, I think this can really sort of resonate a little bit more with the divine feminine here. But yeah, I mean, you can't rely on this person coming back or communicating with you to solely make you happy. I feel like part of the separation is to learn how to make yourself happy and learn what makes you happy. A lot of people don't know how to make themselves happy. And this does come up a lot in spiritual journey and separation from twin. You will heal and be able to open your heart to let love in again. Okay, so to me that feels hopeful for this connection. It feels like this connection is meant to be. It feels like to me that these two need to go off on their own and come to realizations and do the healing that they need to do. And I feel like there can be an opportunity for growth again with this connection. So to wrap up, let's get a Soul's Journey lesson card here. Oh, they're a little stuck. Surrender. I can release my need to control. Okay, so I do feel like there's a bit of that here in this connection. Divine masculine does not want to be controlled. Divine feminine may want to control. So it's always going to mirror. Whatever we do is going to be the opposite. So if divine masculine does not want to be controlled, divine feminine is going to want to control them all the more. Okay, so control, commitment. I feel like the divine masculine doesn't want to commit because they feel like they will be controlled. I feel like they are sort of pushing this away because they are a little bit irresponsible and they're not ready. They're not like matured enough to deal with a mature relationship. Okay. And divine feminine, I feel like, has to surrender control and not worry about where are they? What are they doing? Why don't they want me? Why? So I feel like more the surrender, and I feel like that will bring peace. Okay. And I do feel like this is a good connection as well. And it can be a good connection. I love all you guys so much. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this style of reading. Leave me some comments. I'll leave a link in the description box for my private reading information. I'm doing specials right now, starting at $15. And if you're interested, shoot me an email. Also, I'll leave a link for Twin Flame Separation Support Group that I've started on Facebook. It's a great group. We're doing lots of informational, groundbreaking things in this group. Lots of healing, lots of awesome stuff. So check it out. Thanks, guys, so much. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Don't forget to like and share. And many blessings to you all.